Welcome to The Explainer. If you work in content, you already know the landscape is, well, it's pretty much shifting under our feet daily, right? Today, we're breaking down how generative AI for content operations is finally taking us away from that era of tedious, manual execution into a totally new paradigm. We're talking about technology acting as a massive multiplier for our creativity. We're going to look directly at the specific tools and the strategies that are making this happen right now. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Is the manual content grind finally over? We all know that sheer exhaustion of trying to stretch just a single piece of content across a dozen different platforms. It absolutely leads to burnout, and frankly, it distracts us from the actual core message we want to deliver. But, as we look at the current shifts in content operations, the answer to that question is becoming a resounding yes. The era of brute forcing your way through content production, that's coming to a rapid close.
We're transitioning completely away from operations bottlenecked by human bandwidth. Now, AI-powered workflows are stepping in to take over. But hey, there's a really vital distinction we need to make right up front here. These tools do not replace creativity. They scale it. Think of it like this. The technology essentially removes the operational friction. It does the heavy lifting of the production process so that your absolute best ideas can be amplified, multiplied, and distributed faster than ever before in human history. Now, to understand how we actually achieve that kind of scale, we really need to look at the tech itself.
So Section 1, the new AI toolkit. Let's check it out.
We are way past basic spell checkers and simple social media schedulers at this point. We're talking about advanced text-to-video platforms and AI-powered editing assistants. I mean, you can literally now take a standard text script and generate a fully realized video. We're talking professional transitions, highly realistic cloned voiceovers, dynamic overlays, the whole shebang. In minutes. What used to be, a grueling 3-day post-production cycle is now getting done during a quick coffee break. Add ChatGPT 4.0 and other highly specialized tools into the mix, and you essentially have this foundational infrastructure that takes you from a totally blank page to a polished multimedia asset almost instantly. It's wild.
But, and this is a big but, speed means absolutely nothing if the output is garbage, right? A common fear is that relying on AI just means sounding like a robot, losing your unique identity, and ultimately hurting your bottom line. But the sophisticated application of these tools actually proves otherwise. Integrating this infrastructure into your operations helps you develop scripts that achieve two really critical things at exactly the same time. First, they maintain a hyper-consistent brand voice. Why? Because you're actively training the AI on your specific tone, your vocabulary, and your personality. Second, they relentlessly optimize for specific ROI goals, things like conversion, retention, or engagement. It's all about creating strategic, brand-safe content that delivers a hard return on your investment. Having the ability to generate this kind of content rapidly, though, well, it means nothing if the underlying rules of the internet are changing, which, spoiler alert, they absolutely are.
Which brings us to Section 2, the structural shift.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it perfectly captures the death of an old paradigm. For the last 2 decades, the internet basically worshipped ranking. We all remember the dark days of awkwardly stuffing articles with the same keyword 50 times, just praying to appease a search engine spider so you'd appear as a blue link. But in the AI agent era, the new objective is being the answer. When people use AI assistants today, they don't want a list of websites to go browse through. They want a synthesized, direct response. So if your content operations are still optimized for old-school ranking, you are going to get left behind. You literally have to rewire your strategy to be the definitive answer an AI chooses to serve.
To actually become the answer, you need an entirely new architectural approach, something called an entity-rich knowledge graph. So what is that? Well, your content can no longer exist as just a loose collection of paragraphs. It has to be highly organized, clearly defining the entities, the specific people, places, concepts, and statistics, and exactly how they all relate to each other. Because if an AI agent has to struggle to parse the context of your article, it simply moves on to a competitor's site that's structured more cleanly. You're basically formatting your knowledge so a machine can effortlessly extract it, understand it, and then confidently serve it right to a human. This brings us to a really fascinating crossroads. We've got machines generating videos in minutes, and we're structuring our data specifically for other machines to read. It sounds incredibly synthetic, doesn't it? But actually, that leads directly into our final philosophical shift.
Moving on to Section 3, the human imperative.
So the crucial point is this. As AI content inevitably floods the web, specific, first-hand, expert content becomes exponentially more valuable.
I mean, it's just basic economics, right? When supply goes infinite, the baseline value drops to zero. AI is going to create an endless supply of average, generic information. What becomes incredibly scarce, though, is the realness premium. The nuanced mistakes you've made, the hyper-specific industry anecdotes you possess, that hard-earned expertise built over years and years, and AI cannot hallucinate that. In a rising sea of synthetic text, your authentic human experience is going to be your absolute most valuable premium asset, for sure. And this brilliantly illustrates how we bring it all together. The boring bits of content creation, stuff like basic ideation, writing social media captions, handling automated repurposing, that now only needs to take up a tiny fraction of your time. By delegating all of that operational friction to the AI toolkit, you unlock the vast majority of your week for strategic community building. You aren't wasting hours tweaking video transitions anymore. Instead, you're forging real relationships, you're applying your firsthand expertise, and you're building an actual community. Basically, you let the AI handle the scale so that you can handle the soul.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a vital question. The playing field of production has been completely leveled. Literally anyone can now make a polished video or a grammatically perfect article in seconds. The technical barriers, they're gone. So, what sets you apart? What unique first-hand expertise do you bring to the table? Your operations can be fully driven by AI, but your ultimate strategy and your true value, that must be driven by your unique human experience. Identify your realness premium and start building your knowledge graph around that. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this massive shift. Keep adapting, and I'll catch you next time.